Few pre-cooked foods are as convenient as a hot and ready rotisserie chicken. You know what I'm talking about. Those beautifully golden brown, perfectly roasted birds in a bag that might greet you as you walk into a grocery store, or whose savory aroma wafts from near the deli section. They're often a good value in terms of low cost, not to mention the amount of time they can save you in the kitchen. For an impromptu dinner or lunch, a roast chicken is hard to beat. But their usefulness doesn't have to end after one meal. The rotisserie chicken holds tremendous value in the form of leftovers and what you can use them for. Today I'm going to share 5 fast, flavorful, and budget-stretching uses for leftover rotisserie chicken. In fact, after watching this video, you might just buy 2 of them in the next visit to the store. So let's get cooking. Hello and welcome to I Want to Cook. My name is Chef Matt and this channel is all about helping you be a better cook. And today we are taking a look at the ubiquitous rotisserie chicken or roast chicken. Now you're probably familiar with these, but just in case you're not, a rotisserie chicken is simply a pre-cooked whole chicken sold in a store. These are usually found in the deli section and sometimes they're different flavored like barbecue or rosemary, but whatever kind you get, they always seem to be perfectly cooked, brown, juicy, tender, and just delicious. Now, I recently made a video on the merits of buying a whole uncooked chicken instead of chicken parts when you want to cook chicken at home, but I can't deny the convenience of one of these, especially when, well, maybe you get home after work and you don't want to spend an hour or more prepping and cooking a chicken. The convenience factor of one of these is hard to beat, and I'll be the first to admit that often they just taste better than the kind of baked or roast chicken that you can make at home, and well, there's good reason for that. First and foremost is how these roast chicken are cooked and what they're cooked in. Simply put, the commercial ovens that cook these chickens are way better than what you have at home. These massive ovens often rotate the bird, and that's where you get a rotisserie chicken. So what happens is as the birds cook, they are rotated, and that allows the juices inside them to circulate, and the end product is super juicy. Some other specialty ovens called combi ovens use steam in addition to dry heat to help the chickens retain moisture. Birds cooked in a non-rotated way are simply called roasted chicken, and they are equally delicious. And either way, these ovens closely monitor exact temperature for perfect doneness. That means no undercooking or overcooking. The birds seem to turn out perfect every single time. There's often tremendous value in buying a pre-cooked whole chicken as well. Truth be told, they're often less expensive than buying a whole uncooked chicken. My local supermarkets have them for $8 or $9, and you can find them even cheaper at some places. My local Winco, for example, has a whole chicken for under $6. That's incredible. With some hearty side dishes like mashed potatoes and maybe a salad and some bread, one of these can feed a small family or at least a couple. That's a really inexpensive dinner for around $10. But that's simply the beginning of the value of one of these. You can find much more in the leftovers. So here are 5 of my favorite uses for leftover rotisserie chicken. You have not had a chicken salad spread until you've made it with roasted chicken, and it comes together in just minutes. I make mine the same way I make tuna salad, and that's in a food processor. I simply begin by adding onions, pickles, pickle juice, mayonnaise, and mustard. You can add other ingredients such as celery and capers if you like. I pulse those until they're blended, Then add chicken you've stripped from the bone. Pulse a few times until you get the consistency you like. And boom! You've just made chicken salad in seconds. If you don't have a food processor, you can simply cut everything up and mix it, but seriously, this is reason enough to get a food processor. And remember, you can find these super cheap secondhand at almost any thrift store. I recently purchased this amazing Cuisinart for less than $15 at my local Goodwill. And then there's chicken salad, as in salad with chicken. Whether it's a chicken Caesar salad or a garden salad with fresh chicken chunks, either of them are a great way to get extra protein in your choice of salad. Simply chop up whatever lettuce and vegetables you like, then add the chicken. Finish with a dressing of your choice. My preference is something like a vinaigrette. I might suggest trying my mother's famous Italian vinaigrette, and I'll put a link to our video making that in the description below. If you're not a big fan of salads, remember you can always add chicken to soups. Heck, you can add it to any soup you want, even something like this ramen, to make it next level with real chicken. I could and pretty much do eat Mexican food every single day, and that's another great application for leftover rotisserie chicken. I'm talking tacos, burritos, enchiladas. For the first two, all you have to do is heat the tortillas and the chicken and put them together. You can then fill them with whatever you like. It can be as simple as chicken and cheese, like my best high school buddy used to eat, or you can do the works, lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, salsa, whatever you want. Or try making my easy Enchilada Casserole with leftover rotisserie chicken. This casserole comes together way easier than traditional enchiladas because there's no rolling of the tortillas. Simply layer ingredients, bake, and go. I'll put a link to that video in the description below. I think you're gonna love it. If you really want to take your leftover rotisserie chicken pieces to the next level, you've got to try it Carnitas-style. This is one of my favorite uses for leftover rotisserie chicken. Now, carnitas are usually pork, and what it is, it's usually pre-cooked pork that is then shredded and fried in oil. Well, guess what? You can do the same with this stuff. Simply gather the chicken, then tear it up a bit. Pro tip: throw some of the chicken skin in there too. You're not going to regret this. Now heat a pan over medium until it gets hot and then add some oil. I like a high heat oil such as avocado for this application. Now dump in the meat and fry. Do this until the pieces get nice and crispy, stirring and scraping often. Transfer to another dish and don't you dare leave behind those bits on the pan. Scrape those up. I recommend a quality metal pan for this application, such as stainless steel. Here I'm using that all-clad pan that I scored for $5 at a thrift store. It was in rough shape when I bought it, but I was able to make it shine again. I'll put a link to that video in the description below. Finally, there's the carcass. Now, most people, when they're done getting the meat off of a rotisserie chicken, they just throw that in the trash. Well, you might as well be throwing dollar bills away because there is gold in that carcass and it can save you a lot of money, especially if you usually buy store-bought broth. Those bones and any residual meat and skin on them make amazing broth, and you don't have to spend hours over a stove preparing it. I make mine in an Instant Pot electric pressure cooker. All you need to do is put the bones in a pot along with aromatics like onion, celery, and carrot, that's called mirepoix you might recall, and some extras like a bay leaf and peppercorns. Add purified water, secure the lid, and hit the soup or similar button on the Instant Pot. An hour or two later and you'll have amazing roasted chicken broth. Simply strain out the solids and that broth will be ready to use for soup or for cooking anything you want, from rice to lentils to whatever you want to put more nourishment and flavor in. Doing this one thing alone with leftover rotisserie chicken can save you tons of money in store-bought chicken broth. And unlike that commercial stuff, yours won't be loaded with sodium or any mystery ingredients. Finally, we have one last bonus application. This skin that you get off the chicken, well, maybe you don't eat it, but guess what? Your furry friends are probably going to love it. I give chicken skin as a very special treat to my dogs and they just devour it. So don't throw that away. So those are my 5 favorite uses for leftover rotisserie chicken. Now it's your turn. What do you use this for? Put that in the comments below. Okay, before we get to trivia time, we're starting a new occasional segment that I'm going to call Show and Tell. And well, this isn't necessarily something that I found, but some place that I found with lots of some things. Well, this is pretty much my mecca. This place is called Kitchens for Good, and it is a thrift store that only sells cookware and kitchen related items. Now, they're not paying me to say this or anything like that. This is just a place that I have been meaning to go to for a while. I finally visited last week and oh my gosh, it did not disappoint. This place really is incredible. It has so much cookware. It was all I could do to not buy every single thing. And best of all, it's for a good cause. It is a non-profit, and what happens is they take the proceeds from the sales and they help people, well, get jobs in either the restaurant industry or prepare them for some sort of culinary line of work. If you are anywhere near San Diego, you've got to check this place out. It is just absolutely incredible, especially if you love cookware and thrifting as much as I do. It's probably a good thing I don't live closer because I would be there every single day. So if you are anywhere near San Diego, check out Kitchens for Good, an amazing place. They opened a couple years ago and wow, it's something else. Okay, trivia time. Last week I asked you to identify this interesting looking little device and several of you knew exactly what this is. This is a tomato and strawberry core. This part here, what you do is you dig into the top near the stem and that helps you remove it from tomatoes and strawberries. Congratulations to everybody who correctly identified this tomato and strawberry core. For this week's culinary tool trivia, who knows what this thing is? This odd, old looking thing. You can probably guess where I got it last week. Yes, this was one of my many treasures from Kitchens for Good. What is it? If you know what this is and what it's used for, put it in the comments below and I will of course let you know the correct answer in the next video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Until next time, I hope you want to cook.